Welcome back to The Rock. This is the Results Center here in Tshwane, and it's a pleasure to be with you this morning. This is going to be the center of everything when it comes to the elections for 2016. All of the results coming here, and you're going to be seeing all the political parties represented here as they watch the numbers coming in, being counted. And I'm sure by this time tomorrow morning, you're going to see a lot of those votes already counted. Obviously, it'll still be very early days, but as tomorrow unfolds, you'll just keep on seeing those numbers changing and moving ever higher, and then starting to get a very clear picture as to how the results panned out. Well, let's focus on one of our provinces here, and that, of course, is the province of Gauteng. This is the economic hub of South Africa, if not, many say, the economic hub of Africa. Some analysts and market polls suggest that Johannesburg and Tshwane, being so hotly contested, could fall between either the ANC or the DA at this point. At this point in time, as it stands, the ANC, of course, are running all of those different municipalities. They run three of the most populated municipalities in Gauteng, the Johannesburg city and the city of Tshwane. So let's have a look just to give you an idea of the race for votes and how it was in Gauteng back in 2011. You saw that the ANC got 60.4% of the votes, and the DA got 33.3%, and COPE got 1.1% of the votes there. Now, I mean, that is a picture in 2011. I keep emphasizing, remember, that the ANC, or I should say the EFF, were not contesting the elections at that time. Here's the results, and you can see over there the total number of wards, the total that were won contested. The ANC, I mean, walking away very much so with quite a major majority. There's one, however, the city of Tshwane. Now, this is certainly a very, very interesting one that one can look at this point in time. Because when people talk about interesting cities, and that's where we are right now, it's Tshwane. I just want to give you this very, very quickly. The seats as it stands right now, this was the ANC with 118 seats. The DA had 82 seats. So do you see how close that is already? So this is going to be a very, very interesting election. But I can tell you now, we've got our reporters all over the place monitoring these elections, and Mangoba is in Gauteng, and he will be talking to us a little bit more about that. But that'll be just a little bit later on in the program. But just one more before we cross back to, I think it's back to Palesa in the Johannesburg studio. Here is the race for votes. This was in 2011, 56.4% to the ANC, and the DA 38.74%. This is a very, very close one, and I think most analysts are watching this exceptionally closely. All right, let's go back to Palesa in Joburg. I believe she has a guest there for us as well this morning.
All right, thank you very much to Leanne. We'll be crossing back to them at the Results Operations Center there in Tshwane. But like I was saying earlier on, let's just get a perspective as to what the work of election observer is. In studio this morning, we joined by Reverend Gift Moerane, who has served as a member of the Electoral Commission's Conflict Management Mediation panels, as well as Blayth Makgoana. Gentlemen, good morning to you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's start with you, Reverend. You were telling me earlier on that the work of an election observer does not necessarily start today during the actual election day, but it starts like 3 months before the actual day. Take us through that.
Yeah, immediately when the country pronounced about the date of the election, already observers would be on the ground. We know that parties will start to mobilize, to sensitize their followers, and also lobbying for votes for the date of election. So that's the time when the election teams get on the ground to start to track down political parties.
So what do you do? Do you follow them during their political campaigns?
We follow them, quietly following them, attending their rallies, listening to their speeches, also checking if maybe they are not violating the Electoral Code of Conduct, and always having one-to-one discussions with them, encouraging them actually not to promote conflicts and violence, so that you preempt any incident that can lead and spoil the day of election. So you cannot do it actually on election day. You must build a rapport with political leaders. They must know that you exist. They must know that in case that maybe when they rally around in the targeted communities, when they suspect that maybe party A can actually disrupt a rally for party B, they know who to call. So, and you are always there in between to making sure that you separate them if maybe there's a need to do so.
All right. Ntate Makgoana, were there any incidents whereby the political parties violated the Electoral Code of Conduct during their campaigns? Or honole handle bene ba itshwere handle?
I think in most places, things were very, very well, except in the places like Kagiso 1 and 2 and around Krugersdorp. And another place which I think we have to take into consideration is, what do you call this place?
Midval,
where there's a
And
lot of,
Tshwane.
around R59, where a lot of people,
Sicelo.
Estrelo area.
Yeah.
So, but for now, things are just okay.
All right. So you also monitor what they term hotspots during the
areas,
elections to
yes.
make sure that everything
Yeah.
goes well.
Yeah.
The other thing that made this campaign in period was the concerns of residents for service delivery. So that itself actually raised the tempers on the ground. We just actually intervened in the Citizen district where the community of Steel Park was up in arms, just closing the roads, disrupting everything, making it difficult for IC to open the stations. So you encourage leaders to talk and say, no, you can have your issues, but allow IC to do its work. So we had to go to IEC regional offices in Citibank. So they gave us a list of hotspots, and then you visit those hotspots and visit the sites where IEC is going to pitch a tent, sensitize the community that this tent is here to service you, so protect it, making sure that no one come and bend the tent or maybe do anything that can damage the properties of IEC. So the mediator, you don't wait for conflict to erupt, but you sensitize communities that avoid any situation that can spoil the election day. Because if violence can happen today, it should be a culmination of what has been happening in a particular setup.
All right. No, I'm afraid that's where we're going to leave it this morning, but I believe that you were able to bring that perspective as to what the work of an election observer is. Thank you so much and good luck for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, there you have it. We are speaking to Reverend Gift Moerane, who has served as a member of the Electoral Commission's Conflict Management Mediation panels, as well as Blayth Makgoana, bringing an understanding to us as to what the work of an election observer entails. What